The relentless pressure cooker of the frontier. Imagine a world where every sunrise brings a new challenge, and the promise of a better life is constantly shadowed by fear. The frontier wasn't a land of unending opportunity. It was a crucible where isolation, hunger, disease, and uncertainty were relentless companions. Families left behind everything familiar, driven by societal pressure and the seductive narrative of manifest destiny. Picture the loneliness of the vast prairie, where a single misstep could cost life or limb. How did pioneers cope with the ever-present anxiety of violent encounters with wildlife, sudden storms, and unfamiliar diseases? The human mind is resilient, yet prolonged exposure to such stress reshapes emotional stability, leaving enduring marks on those who survived. Beyond physical hardships, settlers carried a heavier, invisible burden: the psychological weight of leaving behind friends, community, and safety. The relentless push westward became more than a physical journey. It became a test of endurance, a battle within the human psyche where hope and terror intertwined, leaving many to question the true cost of progress. The weight of moral compromise, westward expansion didn't just test physical limits, it challenged morality itself. Settlers were often complicit in acts of displacement, violence, and cultural erasure, rationalized as divine right or historical inevitability. Many struggled with cognitive dissonance. How could devout Christian settlers reconcile their faith with the cruelty necessary to claim land and survive? Over time, the relentless need to justify actions eroded empathy and reshaped moral perception. Survival demanded desensitization. Compassion could become a liability. This internal struggle left psychological scars, a subtle erosion of humanity invisible in historical accounts. Imagine reconciling the knowledge that your survival came at the cost of others' suffering. The frontier demanded sacrifices that were not always physical, some were ethical, leaving generations of settlers and their descendants grappling with the consequences of compromised conscience. Traumas echo Indigenous perspectives while settlers faced fear and moral struggle. Indigenous populations experienced trauma on an unprecedented scale. Forced removals, broken treaties, and cultural destruction inflicted psychological wounds that echo through generations. Witnessing the destruction of sacred lands, losing family members, and enduring systematic oppression shaped not just individual lives, but entire communities. The emotional impact of seeing one's homeland erased, replaced by foreign settlements, created persistent anxiety and grief that transcended time. Understanding manifest destiny requires acknowledging this perspective. The expansion was not just a narrative of opportunity, but also a narrative of profound loss. Contemporary society still grapples with these unresolved historical traumas, highlighting the importance of empathy and historical awareness in comprehending the full scope of westward expansion. The price of progress. Environmental and societal scars. Expansion left a dual legacy: environmental destruction and societal instability. The psychological impact of witnessing widespread devastation, rivers diverted, forests felled, wildlife eradicated, was immense. Settlers had to justify these losses as progress, a rationalization that further eroded their emotional and ethical grounding. Meanwhile, frontier justice and vigilantism reflected a society constantly under strain, where trust was scarce and survival often trumped morality. Generations were shaped by an environment that normalized aggression and desensitized individuals to suffering. The West was physically conquered, but the true cost, psychological, societal, and environmental, remains largely unacknowledged. Understanding this toll reshapes how we perceive the celebrated narratives of progress and heroism in American history. Unseen legacies, modern manifestations, the echoes of manifest destiny linger today, subtly influencing contemporary American psychology. The cultural obsession with relentless growth, conquest, and individual achievement reflects historical pressures. Unresolved historical trauma continues to shape social, political, and interpersonal dynamics, particularly in areas with direct ties to frontier history. Recognizing the hidden emotional cost of expansion allows a more nuanced understanding of modern American society and invites reflection on the human consequences of ambition. Manifest Destiny's triumphs came at a profound cost, one not always visible, but etched deeply into the psyche of a nation. Acknowledging these invisible wounds is essential for understanding the full story of the American West.